Hi everyone, it's Heather Sparkles, and in today's video I wanted to do a review video of a fun, de-stress, crafty sort of item, and that is Aquabeads. So I bought this Aquabeads Ultimate Design Studio from Toys R Us whenever I was there looking for Palace pets that were on clearance, because I'm a weirdo and I collect Palace pets. So I was there stocking up, you know, growing my small little Palace pet collection, and I saw this display for Aquabeads that Toys R Us had set up, and they had all the different bead figures and like different kits you could buy, and I was like, oh my gosh, these are so cute. I think my favorite was the 3D animal set, and then they had character sets, like they had Elsa from Frozen, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, I want to make these. So I started out by buying the Ultimate Design Studio, and eventually for you guys I want to order some of the sets from Japan. There are such amazing ones on the Japanese market. Like they have Calico Critters, and there's a really cool Star Wars one, and just all kinds of different other things. So I'm looking forward to getting my hands on some of those Japanese sets, but for now I have one of the basic sets. And after reviewing this, if you guys want to see, like, you know, water bead videos, I don't know what else we would call this, but if you guys end up liking this sort of thing, I'll get like more kits and other types of brands, and we'll make little things together, and it'll be so much fun. But anyways guys, let's start this review of Aquabeads. I have not opened this yet. This is all still sealed. I was saving it for a video with you guys. All I did so far was I read on Amazon what to expect, what problems people were encountering, so I can review those things to let you guys know if there is a real problem, if it actually acts up, if there's something better you can do, if the kit is worth it. By the way, I only paid $15 for this because it was on sale. I guess it retails for $20, so not too bad. It looks like a lot of fun, and I'm extra excited to make this cute little doggy right here. So yeah, anyways, let's just jump right into the video. So it's actually been a few days since I recorded that intro, and I am now getting around to filming my full review of the Aquabeads Ultimate Design Studio. So I just took it out of the box, and I appreciate that it was so easy to take out of the box. It's a pink container that has a handle, and it actually feels like it's pretty sturdy, like it's not going to randomly pop open on you. And it has these really cute pink star detailing that I really like, and it has like little pink stars on the front, so that is very, very pretty to look at. It's also pretty easy to open. Okay, so here is the inside of the kit. So up here we have our double bead pen, then we have our refiller, and this is our sprayer, which is incredibly cute, but I have heard some negative things about it on Amazon, so we're gonna put those to the test today. And then here is where you have your packets of colored beads. There's 12 different packets here, and under that you have some decoration beads, so like little deco pieces that are actually pretty cute. We have bows and a heart, music note, a bunny, flowers, stars. And then down here we have the layout trays. So this is what you would set the beads on, along with putting the design on the back. Oh, and then up here at the top, it was hiding from me, we have these little keychain parts, and you get 4 of those so you can make some really cute keychains. So this is what the actual design templates look like. So here's a few of what this one comes with. This is, I believe, a little piece of cake. I think that's a piece of fruit, maybe a dragonfly, a music note, and some more cake. Then over here we have the unicorn and the rainbow. Then we have a dolphin, a goldfish in a bowl, a little shooting star flower thing, and a mushroom. This one's really cute. It's a kitty cat sitting in front of the moon with a cloud next to her, and she has a purple bow in her hair. Then they have this really cute heart, a hot air balloon, a teddy bear. I think that's a ring, I'm not quite sure. And then there's a happy sun and a ribbon. So I went ahead and put one of the designs into one of these trays so you can kind of see how it works. You basically slide it into the back and you pop it in place, and then it doesn't go anywhere. So this is the one that I really wanted to do for you guys today, along with the unicorn. I really wanted to make this little puppy down here that's featured on the box. And then there's a cute little mouse and a really cute colorful fish and a penguin and a baby chick popping out of the egg. So anyways, that is it for showing you guys the contents of the package. Let's get into testing it. Alright, so now it's time for us to start creating our unicorn. That's the first one I'm going to be starting with, and then we're going to be making this cute little doggy. So the reason I am filming on my desk is because the awesome bead tray thing would not fit in front of my tripod. I have like an overhead filming setup going on here, but I have to have my tripod on my desk, so this was all I could fit in front of it. But thankfully, you don't really need to use that tray to assemble the beads. However, you will be using it to dry the beads. So I took around 25 minutes to set up because basically you need to load the bead gun first. This was very, very user-friendly to me. I had absolutely no problems. There is a little attachment that attaches to the top here, and it holds this compartment open for you, and you're able to funnel the beads into it. That was very user-friendly. I had no issues with it. It is a little bit tedious, you know, to open the bags and put a certain amount of beads in and, you know, just really take your time with it, but it wasn't so bad. It wasn't anything I don't think a child could do or a parent wouldn't have any problem doing. And then I also had to fill up the water container. So you're only supposed to fill the liquid up to this line, and I guess it makes kind of like a mist without getting too much water onto your bead design. So we're gonna test this out. This is the one piece I saw people had quite a few complaints about, and they ended up just using little spray bottles, but we're gonna try it out. I want to stick true to the kit for this review. So I just wanted to say that I figured out why I was having trouble getting the beads to come out, because now it's absolutely effortless. You just press it once and a bead falls right out. I think perhaps I had the bead gun too full, or maybe the first few beads just get kind of stuck and you just have to kind of work at it and shake it a little bit, and then the beads start falling out no problem. So yeah, now that they're falling out very easily, I'm really having no problem. I've kind of noticed that turning my design is making it much easier to assemble that way. So as you can see, the bead gun keeps knocking the beads out of place. So I don't know if there's like a better way I could be doing this, but you also have the option to just pour your beads into little containers and just pick out what you want with tweezers. I heard a lot of people saying that they just like to do it that way because the bead gun knocks too many things out of place. So I will agree with them on that. I will show you guys real fast here. I guess you just have to have a technique down so you don't end up knocking anything out of place. I noticed if you kind of work from the side and go in lines, you don't really have to worry about that too much. So I think this just takes some practice to figure out the perfect way to like not bump into things. So here's what I decided to do to make things a lot simpler. I just took my bead gun and I popped the beads into my hand like so, just a couple at a time, and I have my tweezers and I'm just laying them on one by one. This is so much quicker, and it doesn't make the bead gun useless at all because it's able to hold your beads nice and neat so you won't be losing them. Another thing I feel I should mention is that there is a bittering agent on these beads so that children will not eat them. So definitely, if you're gonna do this route, make sure you wash your hands very, very good, because you're gonna have that bittering agent all over your hands, and that is no fun. So I would probably put these like into a container to do this instead of putting them on your hands, but it is an option. And if you don't want to put the beads onto your hands, you could just eject them into the tray and then use your tweezers and go like that. So easy. Once again, now that I've switched colors, it did take me a little bit of shaking and a whole lot of pressing to get the beads to get flowing, but after that they flow out very easily. So yeah, tweezers are the way to go. I do think this kit should have came with some tweezers, but if you have some, definitely utilize them. I'm using one of these kinds. I just got it in a kit. I think most tweezers will work, no problem. Alright, so here is the unicorn fully assembled. I followed the template exactly and didn't change anything up so you guys can get a view of her. I personally wouldn't have picked green hair for her, but you could easily change it up with any other color. So I will say that colors not coming out was probably just user error on my part. As long as you do not overfill it, you will have absolutely no problem with colors coming out. So do not fill it to max capacity. Make sure there's a good bit of room still in there, and it's totally fine. I got to a point where some of them were coming out with one press instead of me having to really shake it, and that was because in the beginning I really overloaded it to try to fit as many beads in there as I could, so don't do that. Alright, so now it's time to put the water on and get this thing held together. So you spray the beads a few times with water from about 3 inches away, and you want to make sure that it's covered with enough water. So I'm just going to be basically spraying this the best I can. You want it to make sure that it's facing down. There's a little arrow right here. And about 3 inches away, I guess that's about 3 inches. So just really soak that, I guess. Alright, so now you have to count to 5 slowly after spraying, then tilt the layout tray and leave it for an hour. Alright, so here's how our beautiful unicorn is looking. I just set it up onto the drying area. I wanted to make sure I got a shot of this so you guys could see what I was talking about. So here is the table you would be working on, and basically whenever you're done, after you have it down here, you just pick it up and you put it right there. And what I did right away was I slid out the template, which slides right up from the bottom. So I slid out the template to avoid it getting wet at the bottom, because there was quite a bit of water on this, but I wanted to make sure it was really saturated. So basically after an hour, if I read this correctly, if you want to make it more secure, you're supposed to flip it over and spray the back. So that's the only way I could imagine you do it, is that the front has to dry on here for an hour. Then you could flip it over and dry and spray it for another hour for, like, if you need it to be a keychain or something, so it's more secure. So we will give that a try. This is my first time ever making anything like this, so I'm no expert. I'm just kind of going with the flow, following the directions, and hope it all turns out well. But I was really glad that whenever I flipped the design up, it did not just like slide off, so it really was secure after 5 seconds, so that's really great. So let's move on to making the puppy now. So now you kind of turn it horizontal and you just start pumping out beads onto the tray. As you can see, they fall out very easily. So I should have counted like how many were in here, but I decided we're just gonna wing it. So now I'm just going to take these and place them one by one. As you can see, it's a lot quicker doing it this way compared to taking the bead gun and, you know, going one by one and having it knock things out of place. This works out really well, but like I said, the bead gun is not totally useless because it's able to hold the beads you need, and then you can eject them onto the tray and just use your tweezers. So the only thing you're really going to need to buy for this kit so far is just a pair of tweezers. I'm sure any kind of tweezers will do, but if you have these really fine jewelry tweezers, they're absolutely perfect for this. And I do think a kid would have no problem using these tweezers because they're extremely effortless. So yep, you just lay the beads into the green. This is really fun. The main reason I got this kit was so that it would be a really fun de-stressor. Just something I can do whenever I'm stressed out, and I thought I would share that with you guys because I'm sure some of you have a lot of stress in your life, and if you can make some time to do a little craft project, even like a kid's craft like this, it might be really beneficial to you. Alright, so that part of the body is done. Now we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white beads. So we're just going to turn this to the black and white, which is what I'm going to be working with next. actually, we'll just go ahead and put his eyeballs on first. So we're gonna get 2 black beads out, like so. Very simple. Boop, he has eyes. And now we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white beads. So all you do is you turn this to the other color. And this is a color I overfilled a little bit, but we're getting them out fine. So I don't know how well you can see it, but right there is where there is a purple jewel bead. And my guess is that you put the purple bead right here on top to make like a 3D nose, and you just really saturate that area with water. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and switch over to that purple bead right now, which is conveniently right next door here. So I'm actually glad it's like that because I did not even plan that. So let's go ahead and pump out that purple bead because I don't want to forget where it goes. So it looks like it goes right there. There's its nose. It's all 3D. That's so cute. So I'm just trying to make sure that it's in a good spot. I think that looks good. All right, so now we just have to finish his tail. All right, so the puppy is complete. It's super cute. I really love its face. So this time I used a lot of water. I wanted to use almost this whole thing just to see if like I need to use the whole thing or if the whole thing is a little too much water for it or what. Because I heard that it could be strengthened by more water, but I guess you don't want to use too much water. I don't know, but maybe this amount of water is enough for at least 2 designs, and that's what they were kind of going for there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put this onto the drying tray, and then I will see you guys in an hour. Good morning, everyone. So I had quite the adventure with these things yesterday. So it is now the next day because I did everything wrong you could do wrong making these. And so it took quite a long time for them to dry. So basically what happened is I waited an hour and a half with them on the drying rack. And when it was time to go pull them off, they were not coming off because I don't know if I oversaturated them, but basically like the midsection of them was like stuck to the drying rack. So the parts that I pulled up, like the legs, they were like folding up and I couldn't push them back down. So like with the doggy, his legs like split off from his body and I had to fix him and it was this whole big mess. So then I eventually just put more water on them, figuring I could hold parts together. Like with the unicorn, a piece of its hoof fell off that I couldn't get back on, a tip of its wing fell off, but she turned out okay today. She looks good now she's finally semi-dry. Like she's still wet right here. See, I thought like once they were kind of okay, you know, spraying the back would strengthen them, but in my case I think I really just oversaturated them. So like you have to find the perfect saturation level to hold them together, but without making them so soggy that they turn into slime and that they never dry and that they start to fall apart. So too much water can actually be a bad thing on these. So you definitely want to figure out the perfect amount of water. And I'm actually really relieved that these dried well enough that I have something now to keep, because I was worried I was just going to have to throw them away. The puppy's face turned out very good, but the body is still a little bit rough, so we will not touch her too much. The unicorn, other than losing a hoof, turned out extremely cute, and I absolutely love her wings. I'm not quite sure that I would have these as keychains though. They do seem a little bit fragile, but I'm sure you could put glue on the back of them or something to make them stronger. I'm going to be making a lot more and practicing like the perfect amount of water, and we'll see if we can make one that's strong enough to be a keychain and we don't have to worry about it breaking. So yeah, that's where I'm at with these. I'm only going to be taking off one point because of the bead pen. It wasn't a problem for me, but you know, it's supposed to be able to drop the beads into those individual compartments, and I noticed that it doesn't really do that. Like sometimes it'll skip a couple or it'll move your beads out of place, and that could just come down to user error on my part. Maybe I need to practice more, but I feel like if this kit came with at least a small pair of plastic tweezers, that would be no problem. However, the pen was not a deal breaker for me because I just ejected as many beads as I needed to onto the thingy, and I used my handy dandy tweezers and I was able to place them no problem. So that's the only reason I'm giving this kit a 9 out of 10. I think for the price I paid, it was worth it. You get a lot of beads, it's a lot of fun. You get this nice little station and it stores away really nicely. So yeah, that's pretty much like my only complaint. So that's my thoughts on Aquabeads. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have any tips about these, if you are an Aquabeads fanatic. I would love to learn, you know, some better ways to make these. If you found this review helpful or enjoyable at all, feel free to hit that like button, and if you're not already, subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone!